Thank you. All right, Chair will be ready to go at 3:30.
Sure, thanks.
The power
Do you have a
source.
USB-C?
I've got a power cord here, but just I'm always confused. Sometimes the computer takes a while to like start up. And it doesn't tell me what it's doing. Like, is it dead?
It'll end up on.
The volume goes up and down. They're having an excited conversation.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's that all about?
No.
3:30, so Sheriff, you want to start it?
I will. Waiting for the bell there.
And for the
Recording in progress.
Okay, we have hit 3:30. Thanks everybody for coming to the July 3rd Qathet Regional District Board meeting. I'd like to recognize we're holding the meeting on the traditional territory of the Tla'amin. We have the agenda in front of us. I don't know of any changes to the agenda, so nothing. Okay, can we get an approval for the agenda? Directors Gisborne and Lennox. I guess we've already had a discussion, so all in favor? None opposed, motion carries unanimously. Adoption of the minutes of the June 26, 2024 regular board meeting. Any errors or omissions? Seeing no hands, can I get a motion to adopt? Thank you, Director Lennox and Isaacson. All in favor? None opposed, motion carried. 2 items of correspondence. Are there any items? Well, I'm going to make one.
Sure.
Sorry, we have.
Oh, sorry.
One. No.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I went shooting right past it. So we have no delegations or inquiries. We do have unfinished business 5.1. I'm going to suggest that this isn't even necessary anymore, but we have received correspondence from the museum that they do not want somebody from the community sitting on their board at this time. And my suggestion is that if they wanted a liaison, I mean, they could just be working with the staff, because more than likely most of the questions that come up will be related with a contract. But if somebody sees otherwise, I'm willing to just move on past this one. I'm seeing no hands. Director Gisborne.
I'm just wondering, you know, for the public, if we've had all this kind of other correspondence through email, shouldn't that also be included on the agenda so that they know, like, why we're doing this or why we're not doing it?
Was it on a previous agenda, CAO? Director Dowd?
I'd just like to make a motion that the board not support offering a director appointment.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion on the floor. Is there a seconder? Director Lennox? Is there any discussion? Director Dowd?
Yeah, and this has been discussed for a little while. We've had an exchange with the directors of the Museum and Archives Board, and they would prefer that we don't appoint somebody as a liaison. So I think following their request is the right thing to do, and to not support adding a person.
Seems to make sense to me. Any other discussion? So no hands up. We'll take the vote. All in favor? Any opposed? None opposed. We are not supporting offering a director appointment. Now we are on to correspondence. There's 2 items of correspondence. I guess I'm going to move 6.2 to business arising from correspondence. Is there anything else? Seeing none, let's go on to 7.2. I'm going to make a motion that we do write a letter at the request of Debbie Malthouse about the boat launch at Saltery Bay. We have done this in the past. As she noted in her correspondence, I don't think there's anything wrong with just reminding anything. Like
Second?
no,
Second that.
there, second, Director Lennox. I don't think there's anything wrong with reminding them that this is still on our radar. We would like to see it improve. Director Lennox.
Yeah, just briefly for me, I also support this. There's quite a few people that bring this up to me, even though I'm on the kind of the far end of it, but it's needed in the community. Has there ever been any exploration of the Saltery Bay area?
What do you mean by expo? Oh,
This particular request.
near the ferry terminal? CAO? I'll get the director out.
Through the chair.
I can report that years ago, it was on a strategic plan, I believe it was.
Mm.
But the directors of the day were confident that there was no private land available, just public, or excuse me, no public land available. We even tried to attempt to negotiate with the Crown on, and it was all private. And the forethought was that if you went to a private individual, it would cost more than they were willing to chew off. So that's basically where it was at.
Thank you.
Director Dow?
Yeah, and I just think if we're gonna start writing to the provincial government, we should be specific about what you're talking about, because I think when we talk about the Saltery Bay boat launch, everybody is reading that to mean the boat launch at the Saltery Bay Provincial Park, which definitely needs some care. And the other item, which the writer's concerned about, is having a boat launch, an additional boat launch at Saltery Bay Ferry Terminal area proper. So we're really talking about two different boat launches and two different ideas. And I understand that there probably is none in proximity to the Saltery Bay Ferry Terminal because of the reason the CAO was talking about. There's very likely no publicly available land or public land available there to do it on. But I think when we write a letter to the provincial government, we should be clear about the two different concepts that are being considered. Because who knows, the provincial government has a lot of power and they might be willing to do happy things for us and come up with some land around the Saltery Bay Ferry Terminal. But let's talk about, make sure the letter is clear. It talks about two different places.
Well, just for clarity, I was proposing just to discuss the boat launch at the Saltery Bay Provincial Park. And it was my concept to do a little bit more research about the area near the ferry terminal before sending any letters of that type. So I was going to discuss that I was just going to go research it myself, to be honest with you. But at this point, the only motion I wanted to make was regarding the existing boat launch and ask them if they can make some improvements to it. I saw Director McCormick's hand up.
Yes, thank you, Chair. And I support sending the letter. But interestingly enough, I had a query today from a Texada resident who hadn't been to Shingle Beach for a long time and was quite upset with conditions there. Now, Shingle Beach is a forestry campsite, but I'm just thinking that maybe we need to do one of our monthly education pieces in qathet Living magazine to explain what are our parks, so that there isn't, confusion between Inland Lake or Saltery Bay or, Shingle Beach, etc. So that's just my suggestion, that we do something about which parks are our parks for education purposes. So.
Okay, great. I'm sure staff is listening to that. So, and Director Gisborne.
No, I'm sorry. Just getting on the speaker list. I thought you had something else for staff.
No, it's just they're here, they're listening. They take all these sort of suggestions into consideration for sure.
Okay, I'd like to thank Director Doughton and Director Brander for their comments, because it helped clarify what we were talking about. Because at first I was thinking, okay, are we talking about the Saltery Bay Ferry Terminal? But it's a bit of a relief to hear that we're talking about the provincial park, which has the boat launch. And maybe in the letter we can let the province know that that boat launch was actually built with nonprofits in the community. It was a partnership with various organizations. And I'm not sure how they want to, as they say, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. But at the end of the day, we would like to see a viable boat launch south, or technically east of the city limits. We don't have any property that I'm aware of that could serve as a boat launch. The only place east of the city of Powell that might work, that is regional district property, would be the Myrtle Rocks Regional District Park, but I'm not sure if that would be if that would even work. But that's not what the motion is before us. However, I have also heard from multiple people that how hazardous it is to try and get a boat into the water there, or getting it back out, because essentially the bottom section of that boat launch has been destroyed by the ocean. So I'd be happy to see the letter go forward, but it also makes me wonder, is the province just going to put this into another filing cabinet Or is there another way that we can, put our thumb in their eye and say, hey, this is, we can't just keep sending you letters and you guys just ignoring us. It's a little too late for a UBCM request, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, you just never know whose ears or eyes you're gonna reach, so just keeping a reminder there is the first thing we can do, and that's what we can do, and that's what the motion is right now. So if there's no other discussion, we'll vote on this motion. All in favor? Not opposed, motion carries. Okay, consent agenda. Would anybody like to pull anything from said consent agenda? Director Dowd.
I'd like to remove item 8.3.
Item 8.3, fire department initial attack community wildfire. Okay, anything else? Seeing no hands, can I get somebody to make a motion to move what is left? Directors Gisborne and Lennox. All in favor? Any opposed? None opposed, motion carries. So item 8.3, which is now 9.3.
Excuse myself from this discussion.
Okay. Directors Isaacson and Dowd are leaving the room.
I will move it.
Director Gisborne, thank you. Seconded by Director Lennox. Any discussion?
I have a question for our corporate officer, and this is a thing that I don't think has ever happened in my experience. This motion is an all directors weighted vote, though 7 out of the 13 votes aren't present. That can still pass, right?
Thank you, Chair. We don't have, or thank you for the chair. We don't have anything in our procedure bylaw that we have quorum, and so we're still able to vote on this matter.
Okay. It was, I thought as much, it was just, never experienced this.
Seeing no other hands up, we'll call the question. All in favor?
Director McCormick.
Sorry, Directors McCormick and Fall.
Yes, regarding a quorum, we're here physically, there's 4 bodies, but we don't have a quorum of votes. So I'm just wondering, is that still okay?
Yeah, thank you. I'll just read the procedure bylaw under that. Oops, sorry. A quorum of any meeting referred to this bylaw is the majority of members entitled to vote.
So it's not about the weight, it's just about the members, the number. Director Fall?
I was actually voting.
Okay, all right, well, let's try that again then. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. If somebody wants to invite them back in. Okay, we have no resolutions, reports, bylaws, new business. Yeah, that was quick. Up to question period.
Galinsky from the Peak here, Chair. I don't have any questions. It's pretty straightforward today. Thank you.
It is, thank you. Okay, proposed closed session. Take it away.
I move that the board move in camera, the meeting be closed to the public on the grounds that the subject matter to be considered relates to matters covered by the community charter under section 91C, labor relations or other employee relations. E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or improvements if the board considers that disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the regional district. L, discussions with regional district officers and employees respecting regional district objectives, measures, and progress reports for the purposes of preparing an annual report under section 98, annual regional district report. And M, the consideration of whether a board meeting should be closed under provision of this subsection or subsection 2.
Okay, great. Can I get a seconder? Director Lennox, all in favor? None opposed, motion carries. Great, we're going in camera.
Moving right along.
Of course, yeah. So we just let me record sometimes here. And make notes on it or will anyone do? But he should have it just fine.
Nope, sorry.
That's okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we are back from the in-camera session. We have a rise report. So I'd like to rise report that the board authorized the CAO to approve group campground fees for 2 nights in 2024 up to a maximum of $500 for the purpose of a regional district staff campout and social to support employee mental health and wellness. And we discussed next generation 911 implementation. With that, we've reached the end of our agenda, so the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much. Hey guys.
Recording stopped.
See ya, Sandy, see ya, Andrew.
Great meeting.
Hi, everyone.